What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back on Friday. Ahead of. I don't even know how to call the Frosinone game. Is it a crucial game? Is it a big game? Is it a key game? Is it, I don't know, a pointless game? But it is a game we need to win, obviously, because we haven't won. But we will talk about that in the preview tomorrow and today. So stay tuned for that. But today we're going to talk about the club potentially, quote unquote, wasting money this summer because we're linked with Di Gregorio, excuse me, from Monza. So that's what we're going to talk about. And also, Allegri having another masterstroke, and this time it's involving Cambiasso in a very interesting position upcoming Sunday. So that's what we're going to talk about. Before we do that, like the video. Let's push to 100 likes. This one should be easy. So 100 likes. And also subscribe to the channel because we're getting close to 5K. Now let's go straight into the video. Okay, so like the title of the show is saying, wasting money, question mark. Because the news is from Gazzetta dello Sport, and they are saying that Juve are interested in Di Gregorio from Monza, the goalkeeper, and has told us both to the player, obviously, or his agent, and Monza as well. Talks with Monza seem promising due to the positive relationship between the two clubs. And the article went on saying that players could be involved, Miretti, for example. Now, on the Di Gregorio, he's 26. He will be 27 in the summer. So for a goalkeeper, still very young, in my opinion. You can get at least another 10 years out of that, at this moment in time, at this stage in football. He's a good goalkeeper. Actually, he's a very, very underrated goalkeeper. If you haven't watched a lot of Monza, I will not blame you. If you just look at the stats, his save percentage, and it's still Monza is top three like he is. He's a very good and a very reliable goalkeeper. I know he's an Inter fan, but like I said, if an offer comes in, you're Inter fan or no, you're just gonna play for Juve and you're gonna do your best. That's how it is. Maldini was a Juve fan. Chiellini was a Milan fan. Like that's what it is. So, that being said, the player, I have no issue with Di Gregorio. I have no issue. I think he's a very good goalkeeper. Like Carnesecchi is also a very good goalkeeper. Like I said, when we were linked with those players, my issue is that with the limited amount of money we have in the summer, I do not want to waste it on a goalkeeper. And when I say waste, Chesney, he's not going anywhere. He still has a contract. I know it's a crazy contract, but who's gonna get buy Chesney off your hands? And at that point, I'm already hesitant because if you're gonna spend 20 million, 25 million on Di Gregorio and you're gonna keep him on the bench, or you're gonna move on Perin, or you're just gonna keep him on Monza 1 year, that money should have been spent to improve now. To improve now. If you can agree with Monza, we'll sign him. We pay you a small transfer fee. You can have him for 1 more year, and he needs to agree with that as well. And then the following season, he will make the move, and we will pay the rest. Maybe, promising positive relationships, good. But also for the player, is it good to come in and be the backup to Chesney? Because Chesney's not going anywhere. Is it good for him to just, I don't know, play Coppa Italia games, and maybe the odd Serie A game here and there? He's not playing in the Champions League. He's not playing Serie A. That's what I mean by wasting money. Now, like I said, if you can do a very good deal and he stays at Monza and you're not paying anything and they get a player on loan for free, fine. I can live with that. But the moment we need to spend big money on him this summer, I do have an issue with it because every single penny, literally, every single €500,000 this summer needs to go towards fixing that midfield and that back line. Because it needs fixing. It misses so many things for so many years now. We cannot go another summer with just half-assing it, and maybe add a Timothée Weah, and you're like, oh, or McKennie is quote unquote doing well, and he is well, but still the quality is not there. Like we cannot have that next season going into Europe and whatsoever. You know that cannot be the case. So that's why I'm saying wasting money. If we need to pay 20 million for Di Gregorio, I don't think it's a waste of money based on the player's quality. That's not what I mean. I mean at this moment in time in the summer, if we need to pay 20 million euro for Di Gregorio, I view it as a waste of money because that money should have been gone to the midfield and the backline. Now, if somebody buys Chesney and the club is like, we're done with Chesney, I still found that very odd because Chesney, for me, is still a fantastic goalkeeper. The money is crazy. I don't think he's going to lower his demands. I don't think Chesney was going to, like, Chesney could say, if Chesney told the club, you know what, let's do another 2 years to it and I will have my wages or so, I think the club will be like, fine, we'll do that. And I think the club should be doing that. You know, I know Di Gregorio is better with his feet, but I prefer my center backs to be a little bit better than the goalkeeper with his feet. That's just me personally. But by the looks of it and by all the rumors, that's not what the club is doing with Chesney, or that's not the vibe they're receiving when Chesney. So that's why we're being linked with Carnisecchi, Di Gregorio, and the list go on, and probably Donnarumma will pop up again. However, like I said, not a waste of money in terms of the quality, but if we need to get that out of the transfer budget, a lot of it this summer, I will view it as a waste. That's just my opinion, but let me know in the comments what you think. And then the final story, or like the final part of the day, was I don't even know what to call it, like the typical Allegri move, basically. Saying that in training, Allegri was not convinced by playing Yildiz Vlahovic, but he has experience with Cambiaso in a more advanced role alongside Alcaraz in midfield. I don't know how to view it. I have no idea what he means with a more in advance, like what the story means, like with Alcaraz in midfield. So that means Cambiaso is gonna play behind the striker. Like now you're complicated. I refuse to believe that in some way, but another way, it sounds something like Allegri would potentially think about. But just use Yildiz. I know if this story is true, I know what the idea is. You know what? Cambiaso technically it's not that bad, but defensively he's good. And I'm like, if you're playing with a trident up front, defensively is a second thought. In terms of defensively as a team, you need to be good, and a lot of people need to work. But if you want to play more adventurous, and the first thought is, I need to have a player who's also defensively very good, then stop that. Like bury that thought and just play what you have now. Stick to the 3-5-2 and whatever. Keep it moving. That's what I think. The Alcaraz one, yes. For me, he should be starting that game against Frosinone. He deserves, or we deserve, and he as well, to see what he's capable of doing. We know what Rabiot and McKennie is going to offer in those positions, and we know what we are lacking. So there's no point to not start Alcaraz at home against Frosinone. We need, like, the season is pointless. Like, it's gone. Like, when are you going to start him? If it's not against Frosinone at home, then when? Because you know what the other twos are going to give you. Now, it's up to see, it's time, excuse me, to see what Alcaraz potentially could give you in that position. So, I refuse to believe the Cambiaso thing, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, not that weird of a shout, you know, knowing Allegri. That being said, let's see how that will go on Sunday. Obviously, I think still McKennie is gonna start up top, Chiesa and Vlahovic. That's how I see it going. But let me know in the comments what you think of Cambiaso probably playing behind the striker with Alcaraz, probably on McKennie's position. That's it for me. I will be live today with a call-in show at 10, so an hour early than the normal time on this channel. So stay tuned for that. Like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys back, like I said, later tonight. Ciao.